And we're live.
If I was a waiter, like a super
annoying job.
As a waiter, you and I are on the same team. We're on team good service, big tip.
Yes.
The man over there, the man wants you to have less salsa. But me, I will hook you the fuck up with salsa. I'll fill this whole table with salsa.
Anything that I can get you for free, I'm getting it for you. Mm-hmm. As your server, anything that I can be like, hey, listen, this is going to be between us. Because honestly, it's not like I'm a company man with points in the company. I want my money now.
Yeah.
So if I'm giving away a free burrito and that's extra $5 for me, that's a free burrito for you.
Yeah.
You know,
the kind of employee every company wants. Giving away freebies at the lowest level for their own gain.
I ever eat with an ex-server? They're always big tippers and they know what the heck they're doing. We were running outside all day long, right? We're hot, sweaty, whatever. We go to the restaurant. It's not a classy joint. And he's like, we're going to want 2 drinks right here. Save us both time. And I love it. Right? So they're rolling in 2 drinks. They're keeping them coming. Yeah, I don't know. I like good.
You know what I hate? Those stories. And I don't know if this is one of those like big talking myths that people say, or if people actually do this, because it's so bafflingly rude to me that people would. Have you ever talked to someone who's like, oh yeah, what I do or what my dad or whoever does is at the beginning of the meal, they'll put $20 on the table in singles. And then if they do something bad, they start taking money off of it.
Move.
And I'm like, dude, this is, first of all, I never want to meet your dad now. Your dad sounds like a cunt. Your dad is, let me tell you, if no one's ever told you, your dad's a fucking cunt. He's a douchebag for doing that.
And a bully, by the way. A fucking bully.
Did I not see it on Seinfeld? Help me.
George went back and took money because George had made a lot of money on a stock deal or something like that, and he was like, it's on me. He's like paying for like coffee and a bagel or something like that, but then he takes 2 steps away and he's like, I'm not that generous, and he goes back and like takes like $2 back off the table.
And they catch him. Yeah, but that's something I can't believe people
Kramer
actually
got caught in the calzone episode. No. George got caught taking the tip back out of the tip jar in the calzone episode because the guy didn't see him put the tip in, and he figures if he didn't see me put the tip in, then what's the fucking point? Because he was trying to buy some goodwill.
That interesting question. I just had that conversation with my brother the other day. We were at Starbucks and I took a little bit to put the tip in the jar. He was like, let's go, man. I go, hold on a second. He goes, let's go, man. And I waited until they turned around and put the tip in the jar. He's like, what are you doing? I go, well, they got to see the tip going. And he said, why? And I said, well, when I obviously tip everybody because I had an ex-server. But then when I come back in and I tip well, I would like what comes with being known as being a good tipper.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't make you bad. You're regularly going somewhere. You need to make sure they know, it's Josh. I'll take care of him a little quicker because he gives a fuck.
Yes, if I'm going to go out of my way to tip well, I would like the benefits with what comes with that.
Yeah, and one thing I do,
just throw in handfuls of change loudly,
so they don't know. Ding, 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 ding.
And then what I do is I also go here.
I think of myself as a professional.
I pick up the whole jar and shake it.
I know that some places, like if you buy something with your card, like if you buy the meal with your card and you write in the tip, like they're not getting that whole tip in some places. Like they'll get fucked over. And I can't do that. Never mind.
You cannot, my friend.
Yeah, I can't continue with that thing. What I was gonna say, I caught myself, Chiz. Don't worry. I'll write why I can't continue.
Do all of you? Got it.
Yeah.
But the whole tipping thing.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had to have, maybe I'm very fortunate in the friends I have that every one of them I know of, I don't check their checks, but I assume they're all tipping. Have you ever had to have a conversation with someone about tipping, like almost Reservoir Dogs style?
With my dad.
Mr. Pink, throw a buck in.
I don't believe in it.
With my dad, because they just came from a generation where, and I told them, I go, look, all of your kids have been servers. So just so you know, this is not okay. What you're leaving isn't okay. And I don't want to embarrass you, but I will leave money on top of your money if you don't tip better. And that is not an indictment on you.
And that should embarrass you.
And it was a total indictment on him. But how low is he tipping?
Oh, for me, 15% isn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody who worked in a restaurant, 15%, I'm tipping out 5% at least. So at the most, I'm only getting 10% anyways. which isn't enough. So 20% is like the bare minimum. You have to be such a bad server for me to give you less than 20%. Like you have to actively do a fucking shitty job for me.
So let me tell you a quick story about the instance where I gave 0 tip.
Yes, I've got one. No,
she got her drink order wrong 3 times, and this was a very simple drink order. I kept having to be like, no, a sweet tea. Just the tea over. I see it. It's over there. I mean, I could go get it. You know, she gets it wrong 3 times. First, it's a Coke, then it's unsweet tea, then it doesn't have ice. And I was like, why didn't you put the ice in it? It's iced tea. And the whole time we're
in
thinking,
the title.
It's got 2 ingredients, and they're both in the name.
And the whole time, my girlfriend and I, the whole time, my girlfriend and I, we smell something, and it's to the point where we're both checking our shoes to see if we stepped in dog shit. You know, we're having that conversation. Like I think some people would be like embarrassed if they smelled a smell. Like, oh, is it me? Is it her? But you know, I've been dating this girl for a year. I'm like, hey, you smell that? She's like, yes. I was like, did we step in shit? And we're both checking our shoes. And the waitress comes back with the drink order wrong for the 2nd time. And I'm like, it's her. When she goes back to fix it for the 3rd time, she got 0 tip. She got 0 tip. There was something else. The appetizers didn't come out for like 30 minutes. The appetizer came out and it was like lukewarm. And then like 2 minutes later, the main came out and she got no tip. She smelled like poop. I'm pretty sure she had shat herself.
Yeah, that's, by the way, you don't have to go past that.
Yeah,
like that's
she
that's
didn't
the
deserve
0
a
tip.
tip.
I wasn't on your team until the poop thing came to fruition. The one I can remember, I didn't give a 0 tip. I gave a tiny tip, like a dime.
That's the worst. That's the
like
slap
a dime.
in the face.
I didn't want her to think it was an accident.
There you go.
Yeah, so I was mad. So I was young. This is a long time ago. Call me 24, and I don't like a really noisy environment or whatever. So I was like, hey, can we sit here? And she said no. Like she won't sit us there. It was a part of the restaurant that was closed. And it's like lunchtime. Like, I don't know why, but she won't sit us there. And I was like, are you sure? Like, we're not messy or anything. We don't have kids. And she's like, no, you can't sit there. That part's closed. So she sits us in this loud, crowded area and the place is booming. And then they sat the people after us there. And it was like, you motherfucker. Like you just straight up eyeballed me as not worthy, I think. And
I chip in?
You whore.
Because I know a little bit about serving. Did your waitress who told you no, was she serving the people in the special area? Because the way it works in restaurants is like each waitress has like a zone.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't remember if it was the same waitress.
That way, that's why they're sat equally. That way, one person doesn't get 8 tables and somebody else gets none. But I used to tell because I ran a place in Seattle. I used to tell the hostess, like, hey, try to sit them there. But if they want to sit somewhere else, fucking sit them somewhere else. Like, I'm not going to have somebody be mad right off the bat because you're not sitting them in an open booth that they want to sit in. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we're not packed and whatever, that's what I always told them. Because you're fucking whoever is waiting on that table right off the bat. Because already they're mad, you know?
Yeah, I think the only time I've ever given 0 was when I went to a place with someone a few years ago, and I ordered like a burger and some fucking whatever side, and 20 minutes go by. We're one of the only 3 tables there, and then this lady comes back, sees our empty waters, and is like, "I'm so sorry, we don't have the onion straws to put on that burger or the barbecue sauce. Would you like to pick something else?" And I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't say this, but I'm like, it's been fucking 20 minutes. Like, I could have picked something else a long time ago. I'm not that connected to this item. Were you back there? Like, we got to like whip up some onion straws. He wants this. Like, no, it'll be fine. And so I'm like, just a chicken Caesar salad then. Like, at this point, I'm like, something quick that'll come out about the same time as like the other person's meal. And she goes back another 20, 25 minutes. Like, at this point, we're getting like irate, where it's like, it's been 45 minutes. I've had 1 cup of water. There's 3 people in this restaurant because we're eating lunch at like 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. And then she comes back. And she, with the food, gives a messed up version to the other person there and gives me a fucking like Cobb salad or shit. Like, not even the same salad. I'm like, yeah, there's no chicken on here and this isn't a Caesar salad. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. We ran out of chicken. So I thought this was like the best we could do. It's like, you're like, this. Do you have food here, ma'am?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. you never want to hear somebody be like, "That's the best we can do." I have two major.
And she still charged me for fries that she didn't bring out.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Zero.
Do that.
That's not okay.
I have two major restaurant pet peeves. One is at like a coffee shop, and one is at a restaurant. The coffee shop pet peeve, which drives me crazy, like so nuts, when they put the lid on. Don't put your hand on the fucking mouth hole. Somehow put it on without your hand. It's not so hard. It's only an eighth of the lid. Why is your hand touching my mouth hole?
These kids are college grads.
Yeah.
I always in women's studies.
You know, that doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother you?
So here's the thing. I have this theory about I don't get sick very often. Like almost never. It's been maybe 2 years since I've been sick. And I think it's because, like for one thing, I wash my hands fairly regularly, but I'm not worried if like I drop some food on the floor and I eat it. I'm not worried about if like somebody has like put their hand on the top of the thing. Like I have this idea that you should be getting a good amount of germs into your body all the time.
There's a woman in Mexico I want you to meet.
Oh, now that's a virus. That's a virus. I don't want that. I'm okay with bacteria and microbes, but no viral Mexican death stew coming out of a stripper twat.
2 fingers of death?
Man,
oh my God.
That makes a lot of sense. I feel like I need to lick some public restroom
be a little dirtier
doorknobs.